Welcome to the SEGA Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things Sega, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for Sega. Hello and welcome to the SEGA Lounge. I'm KC, I'm your host. This is the podcast that's all about Sega, the games, the music, the community, and everything in between. And I'm very excited for this week's show because it's been some time coming. I won't say a long time, but some time coming, like 1 year probably in the making, at least in my brain. And I'm very excited to have two very special guests joining me for what I consider to be a historical episode of this fine show. Like over 280 episodes in, we're finally addressing cult classic Blue Stinger, and for that I am joined by the people who I think, like to my knowledge, are the topmost like experts on the subject. So first of all, we have Dom, Dreamcast enjoyer. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for coming back. Even though last time you went through hell with us, but you still returned, and I'm actually keeping a promise now, right?
I got my seal of approval. I should have brought it up so I could have showed it on the screen, but yeah, it came through in the post. I was very excited.
Nice.
Oh wow! I think ours is just a JPEG.
Oh yeah, you're the old ones. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. In this year, I'm throwing in an extra sticker as well. So yeah.
No need. You sent that Jet Set Radio Shine thing.
Oh, that's for the challenge.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
I think it was just I don't know. It was just some random thing you
probably. Yeah. But, by the way, Mr. Brian Vines. Hello, Brian.
Oh yeah. Minor details. Hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Going well. Yeah, very excited for this. And as I already spoiled, it's Blue Stinger time. So it's the, maybe we'll call it the Hassy. What did I say before? Hassy hype show. Yeah, the Hassy hype episode. Maybe
Hassy hype hour.
Hassy hype hour. I like that. Yes.
Hassy hype.
I'm actually keeping a promise that I made to you, Tom. Last time you were on the show, you'd be back for a Blue Stinger episode this season. So yeah, I actually played through the game finally, a little later than I hoped for, and I wanted to discuss it with you guys, and maybe we can try to sell everyone else on Blue Stinger and what it's about. I wanted to start with why I decided to do this, because it's related to Brian as well. So last year, and actually I realized while preparing for this, I actually looked up like podcasts about Blue Stinger. I thought, oh, no one does podcast episodes about Blue Stinger. Apparently last year, like around Christmas time, almost like every single Sega podcast around, English, French, any language you can name it, they did an episode on Blue Stinger. So apparently I was influenced by an episode of the Dreamcast Junkyard Stream Pod last year, but apparently everyone else was also celebrating Christmas with Blue Stinger in 2024.
No other way to do it.
Yeah, and so I listened to that particular episode of the Dream Pod, and I thought, oh, I really need to play this game. Like the guys were like, you guys were talking about this game with such deep appreciation that I thought, yeah, I need to get on this, and so that's why we're here, almost a year later, finally. So I just wanted to explain why we're doing this. Although, do we really need a reason to talk about Blue Stinger? Probably not.
Sure.
Not.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
I'm very jealous of UKC, and I was jealous of Lewis last year. Anyone that plays this for the first time, I wish I could go back to when I was a kid and like fired this up for the first time, having no idea what I was getting into. So I'm very excited to see what you thought of it as a first impression.
Yeah, so we can start with that. So I didn't really know what to expect because I don't know if this was poorly marketed back in the
It
day.
definitely
I
was.
think
It
it
absolutely
was.
was,
I think it
yeah.
was really poorly marketed because
I would say less poorly marketed and more poorly picked up as a in the conversation. So I think the media outlets at the time kind of anchored it to Resident Evil and other survival horror
yeah.
games that they could draw that connection to, and I don't think that's something that either Activision in the West or Sega had tried to do when they initially marketed it. But who knows? Sorry.
Yeah.
Keep
No,
going.
no, yeah, but because I remember seeing Blue Stinger everywhere back when the Dreamcast launched. I never felt the urge to pick it up, to be honest. Even the cover, you look at it, and I personally never felt like, oh, what is this about?
It's a little
Yeah.
generic.
There we go.
I should have gone and got my copy as well. We could have all held them up.
There we go. What is this about? I mean, there's like a zombie. There's a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
There's some sort of like asteroid or something crashing against an island, and that's it. What is this about? No one really knows. No one really knows. And I honestly never really cared enough to find out more about it. As the years went by, I started hearing things like, "Oh, this is a very cool horror game." Is it though? It's got a, and then people started calling it like quirky and campy and I don't know. It's I think it's all of the above. And much more. But I'm gonna say, as like first impressions, as a person who played this game for the first time, I really enjoyed myself. I wasn't expecting to. I was expecting this to be more of a chore. So I started playing this game when I was on holiday, on vacation, like a couple of months ago, and I actually played it on my Steam Deck through emulation. Oh my god! And I remember one night I was like, oh, I really need to. This was like a goal that I had set for myself for that period of 2 weeks. I need to play through Blue Stinger so I can talk about it on the show. And I decided one night I couldn't really sleep, so I decided to pick up my Steam Deck and started playing Blue Stinger. And although it was a little bit slow at the beginning, I had already played the first like 30 minutes of the game before, so I knew what to do. And when I looked at my watch, I was like, "Oh my god, it's been 2 hours, and I'm like well into this game." I want to know more. I want to know what this is about. And so every night, like for the next like week or so, I played the game for like a couple of hours. And so, and I went through it very slowly, like enjoying everything, looking into every nook and cranny. So I really liked it a lot. I'm not gonna say it's an amazing game. It's like a 10 out of 10 game. It's not. But I can appreciate it for what it is. And I can appreciate the genius of the man behind it, Shinya Nishigaki, right? Who also then later like worked on Ill Bleed, which is probably more beloved and well regarded, I think, right? At least more well known,
I don't
definitely.
know. I think there was a point in time when that was true, but these days I think Blue Stinger has kind of garnered such a cult status in hindsight that I'd say they're, I don't know, maybe on equal pegging as far as
I listened to a few different video game podcasts, and whenever they bring up Hillbleed, it seems to be like, oh, it was really ahead of its time. It had all these really interesting systems. People seem to have that respect for it, where not everyone I hear talk about Blue Stinger has positive things to say about it necessarily.
Yeah. I feel like that's the general consensus. And even like knowing the name Ill Bleed, like it's more common to hear people outside of the Sega scope talk about Ill Bleed or knowing what that is.
I'd never heard of it
so
when
much.
I was a kid. It didn't release over here in the UK, so I only found out about it about 5 years ago, maybe.
That's next on my to playlist, I guess. Yeah,
It's I would say much less enjoyable to play, but equally as interesting, in my opinion. It's just very difficult, fiddly, but it is a good game. It's very hard to get your head around some of those systems.
Yeah, so one of the reasons also why I never really went to never picked it up back in the day, never really tried to play it before, is because I'm not really very into horror games per se. Not really into Resident Evil or that kind of stuff.
Well, you're in luck.
Yeah, and so I thought, oh, this is a Resident Evil game, like that's what many people said. No, it's not. No, it's not. So yeah, this is much more enjoyable than that. A very notable exception to that rule that I never play horror games is Alien Isolation. Love Alien Isolation. So
never played it. Heard only good things though.
You should. Yeah, genuinely scary at times. Yeah. But this was a game that was released in March 1999 in Japan. It was a $99.99 game in North America, so a launch game as well, and also launch game in Europe, October 14th, 1999. So as like Brian already stated, it was published by SEGA in Japan and Activision in the West. Developed by Climax Graphics, which were later renamed Crazy Games.
What a great name!
Yeah, like that's the most vanilla game ever. Under director Shinya Nishigaki, although it's the very accurate name, Crazy Games.
Yeah, he's one of the few people that could say that, and it's actually not just someone being zany. He's no, this is actually crazy. I'm being serious. Okay, Shinya, you know what? It is.
It is.
Pretty crazy.
And one of the things that I found out about it that you probably already knew, but there was a difference. One of the big regional differences between the Japanese and the Western versions were the camera. So in Japan,
I thought you were going to say Dog's Bauer gets naked, because that happens in the Japanese version as well.
Really? Oh my god! I need to play that.
But he got nothing going on down there. It's like Mr. Crab. It's just a smooth. But it's
okay. Risky.
When you put that swimsuit mode on, treat yourself. The saves are cross compatible as well. So if you get a regional, if you get the Japanese version, your save will load up on it.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's nice. I need to try it out. Yeah, but other than that, I guess that's the big difference then. But the second big difference is the camera. You had the fixed camera angle in the Japanese version, much like the Resident Evil games. Sort of in terms of camera angles, you couldn't really move around or look around. And in the West, Activision, apparently from what I've read, previews in Japan slammed that. And apparently people wanted to more of a 3D feel to it as well. I don't know. Wasn't really sure about that.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, it was also a complaint from Western press at the time, and one of the things that Activision picked up on or had made a mandate because Sega probably wasn't going to publish it in the West, but Activision was happy to, but under the condition that they rework the camera to be more of a behind the back or behind the shoulder sort of deal, like you would see in an action game. And honestly, I think that we could get into that in a little more detail if you want at some point. But in some ways, I think conceptually that wasn't a bad call, just because I think they understood that it was more of an action game in a lot of ways. And
I actually prefer that camera.
Yeah, I still love the Japanese version the most. That's the one I usually play. But there was definitely a tension there, and that it was not something that Shinya Nishigaki or any of the team at Climax Graphics wanted to change. And in fact, in earlier interviews, you would kind of hear a lot about how proud they were of the camera system they had come up with, because they really did. I mean, this game was so steeped in film influences,
Yeah.
that they really wanted to bring players into a film, and that was like their main goal. Is like, what if we made this action pseudo sci-fi uh, movie that somebody could just play, whether they like video games or not. And so we can give them the language of these, very cinematic, very deliberate camera angles in every position the player goes to. We can get into the characters and all that, but anyway, they were just very meticulous and very intentional about how they set that camera up, and they were very proud of it. And so I think there was probably a lot of tension when it came to the prospect of having to undo all of that work, and in a short period of time where they probably weren't given enough freedom to refine and make the behind the back shoulder or behind the back camera work as well as it probably could have. Yeah.
I wonder if so. I've seen people not really complain, but like mention that it shows that the game wasn't originally intended to allow you to like look everywhere around, right? Because some people say it's like it's oversimplistic and it's like scenery, like overall. I don't know if I think it fits the location. So you're on an
I
island.
don't know if it's any more simplistic than any other Dreamcast game. Maybe not as hyper detailed as something like Shenmue, but
I don't know. I don't get that like criticism. I think it's more like if you think about where you are in the game, I think it fits, and like indoor locations are fine. I don't
I
have
actually
any problem
spend
with
a
them.
lot of time, and this probably isn't a spoiler, but my kind of Christmas virtual tour video is going to be about Blue Stinger, so you'll see me spending a lot of time on this. But I spend a lot of time just doing the first person view on the UK version, and like looking out the windows, looking at like the shelves in the Hello Market and stuff. Like I quite enjoy looking around and looking at the details. I think it's got quite a good amount of detail in there.
I wonder what was there before. I mean, maybe people have tried to do that, try to like compare, but I wonder if there's differences in terms of like backgrounds and between the two versions, because obviously you don't have the freedom
There are a
to look
few.
around.
There are a few very specific differences, but honestly, I mean, that was another point of focus for them, was to make every environment feel distinct from another. And so they put a lot of work into having environmental artists develop signage, which you can kind of see pretty copiously throughout the Hello Market and the Labo Town area. And so it's like, with all of the ads, and they really wanted to make this feel like a lived-in space. And I don't know where the simplistic necessarily comes from. I haven't really heard that as a criticism. Plenty of other criticisms, but I don't know if I've heard that necessarily.
I think it's mostly from the outside, like the beginning areas where you're like outside, and just
the corridors,
the corridor. Yeah, that as well. Like,
I can see that.
Maybe, but I think it fits. It fits. Yeah, it's what I would imagine from that location, like landing on that location or starting on that location. That's what I imagine it would be.
And sometimes, like games of that era, so I'm thinking of another of my favorite games, Dino Crisis. You could say the environments in Dino Crisis are very, very simplistic. It's like a sci-fi military lab. That's what you would expect it to look like.
Exactly.
And then Blue Stinger, there's some really crazy. I'm thinking about like the interior of the power plant and how all of the corridors like neon and multicolored, and like they didn't need to go that hard with it. So I think there's a lot of non-simplistic things there as well.
Yeah.
And also, before they got the green light to actually start development proper, they spent a fair amount of time focusing just on reference images of power plants and of supermarkets and of locations, because that's one of the few things they could do at that point in development before they actually had a staff to do any of the programming or art formally. But so they did try to model relatively closely to at least some of the reference locations that and then of course they embellished with a lot of the lighting and all of that and the more futuristic pseudo sci-fi tint as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So
yeah, and speaking of futuristic, so it was a really bad segue, but the game takes place in the future, not really right now, but it was the future then.
2018.
2018, right? So, but that said, the game opens in the distant past, right? Like 65 million years ago or whatever.
Just a little bit of a time jump.
Yeah, a little bit of
Games
time jump.
loved doing this stuff in the 90s. Like D2 has like flashbacks to like the fall of the Roman Empire and stuff. And I'm like, okay, just playing this little like survival horror game in the snow. Games love doing that like 65 million years ago. And then it's just Elliot fixing up the boat.
Just for context. Like, okay. Just for context. Yes. Yeah, but that's exactly what happens. Like 65 million years ago.
There's this meteor.
This
and
meteor
like, hey.
falls on the earth and kills all the dinosaurs. And then in the year 2000, an earthquake.
It again.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was the earthquake.
It's the earthquake, and like the island gets like. What happened to the island? Gets separated, right, from the.
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but it's okay. And they call it.
Played this game hundreds of times, and neither of us were like, "Yeah, something happens to it."
Yeah, something. I don't care. Who cares? It's called Dinosaur Island, on account of all the dinosaurs you encounter in the game. Spoilers, probably not. But it makes sense. You just have to play through the game. And I mean, it opens in like when dinosaurs get extinct. So, there's something there. And then in 2018, that's where the action happens, and you play as Elliot Ballard, who is like an emergency rescuer. And you also play as the person who you think is going to kill him at the beginning of the game, because he's looking from afar. Dog's Power. But that's actually that he's a good guy, or like sort of a good guy.
Of him is so ominous, though. The very first time I played it, I did remember thinking, "I'm going to fight this guy."
Yeah,
it plays that really like spooky music, and it just zooms in on him looking gruff and no explanation, and then later on, he's just your boy.
Yeah. And then they uncover something that's happening. I'm not going to spoil the story. You should play it. If we can convince anyone to play this game, we don't want to spoil the story for them. But it happens on that island.
What I will say is that if you enjoy this game, it's probably not for the story specifically. It may like ancillary. It may be like an amusing side, something.
Yeah, I would say like the tone is a big reason I enjoy it. Like the voice acting, the music, the vibe, absolutely. But not really the narrative.
No,
exactly.
But it's like a big thing, right? Happening, like a big conspiracy. Perhaps you start to uncover the truth behind that island and stuff. And there is also and most not all of these characters actually you encounter at the very beginning of the game, right? So there's also Nephilim, which is something that takes up the form of what your character's friend was drawing for some reason, like an anime girl.
It in a little bottle.
Yeah. Building, exactly. Not drawing, building. Yes, exactly. Yeah, in a bottle. I forgot about that. Yeah, and so Nephilim, this otherworldly being, takes the form of that creature, that anime creature, or girl, or whatever, and follows you around, glowing, right? And is this entity good, bad, neutral? Who knows?
I like
We'll find out. Yeah. And then you have Janine, right? Who is like the security chief.
Janine.
And that's it, immediately when Janine shows up, things get sideways with you knowing that Dog's Power is going to be an interesting character.
He's a little old-fashioned.
A little old-fashioned.
A woman.
But that's part of the charm of the game as well. And if you play it if you think about it as a game of the late 90s, early 2000s, you know what to expect. So no harm done there. But it's like, it's got elements. It's supposed to try to scare you, like be a horror game kind of, but it's more of like an action adventure game. It's like more gruesome stuff, like grotesque, like the monsters you encounter and fight are very annoying because they keep respawning every time you enter a building. You come out there, they're back there again, and then you get into the building again, come out there, they are again. So at least you can make a lot of money.
That's what makes and they
I think that's
coins, when you kill them. But I think that's actually what makes it a beat 'em up game for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
even more so than like Zombie Revenge, maybe.
Yeah, kind of, or at least like
I
not too
punched this dude and he exploded into 10,000 yen.
And then I used it to buy a lightsaber and kill more guys. Or a power mixer or napalm launcher. It's like, I don't know. I love that in combination with the loop of going to vending machines where you buy all the weapons and Hassy energy drinks and other various health and other items. But the weapons in this game I think are what make that real fun. Is just to just experiment with different avenues of destruction.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I wanted Dead Rising to be. Like I bought the first Dead Rising game when it came out. I found it really disappointing. Like maybe it gets better, maybe the remaster's good, I don't know. But I remember thinking, oh, this will be like Blue Stinger. I'll be doing crazy, I'll be getting power mixers and jamming them into zombies' guts, and like it just felt like slow and clunky and a bit pedestrian. Maybe it gets good. I didn't give it much of a chance, but like Blue Stinger immediately, like the minute you get your hands on some weapons, is straight away like, okay, the first thing I've picked up is like a metal baseball bat, and like a fire axe, and then like you say, it just gets sillier before we get into Dogs with all his various T-shirts.
Exactly. If you play any other game after Blue Stinger, you're expecting to fight like a crab in a jeep or something, in a car or whatever.
And I'm doing sumo moves to kill the crab.
I actually, and we were talking about weapons, and I remembered your video, Dom, about the game, and then you do like a little montage of Doug's Power's like moves.
Oh, he's doing that constant sumo thing. Yeah.
And it's amazing because all he has to do to learn new like techniques and new like martial arts or whatever fighting styles is put on a different T-shirt. So that's awesome. And there you go.
I was going to say, this is
the best one because
there he is.
You power.
You can solo like every boss in the game doing that move because it stun locks them. So even like the really big monsters, you can just do that and they can't ever get a hit on you. You can like 1cc the game with Dog's Powers doing that move.
Yeah, he's the man if you want to like beat bosses easily. Dogs is the way to go, way to play. Yeah.
You just have to be able to tolerate the ha 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 over and over and over and over.
By the way, I want to ask, what was that like? That statement there? Did you make this or did you find this online?
It's like a poorly written copy paste meme.
Yes?
I don't know what the original context is.
Okay.
I think it might be about like a K-pop star or something. And I just took out the name of whatever the original person was and superimposed it on this cheesy picture of Dog's Powers for a very true statement about
I
me.
assumed that what it was.
True.
Yes. Yeah. If Dog's Power has billion numbers of fan, I am one of them. If Dog's Power has 10 fans, I am one of them. If Dog's Power have only one fan, and that is me. If Dog's Power has no fans, that means I am no more on the earth. If world against the Dog's Power, I am against the world.
And
Beautiful.
you know what? That's very true. If world against the dog's power, I am against the world.
Yes. Very true. Very, very beautiful. Poignant message there. Yes. Go watch
something to really
Tom's video.
Get you in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. And that's another thing about this game. It's set on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, right? So
it takes place across 2 days.
Yeah, wow. So 65 billion years ago. And then 2 days were amazing. So about that. So one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite areas, I assume probably yours as well, is the Hello Market area, like the Christmas music going on there. Which I think I'm not a big fan of the music, to be honest. It's kind of repetitive. And it does feel like they were inspired by like that cinematic feel. Wanted to add that cinematic feel to the game. Was at times too epic for what was really happening. But that Hello Market area is amazing. I never get tired of that music playing in the background. And one of the things that I also enjoyed, I think you mentioned that as well before, guys, like the whole, it doesn't really feel simplistic at all. That particular area, especially with all like the posters and all like the signs and the different areas of the market where you can buy different types of goods and stuff. That was a very cool, it felt lived in. And not just
there's a lot of unique assets and a lot of variety that they didn't need to put all that stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure. And there's even a pen triathlon crossover, right?
I know Brian likes this. I still haven't got around to playing that game.
I wasn't expecting this.
Even though you told me I can give a penguin a Glock.
Actually, it's an AK-47, but
even better.
That's just, or maybe it's the AR-15 style. I don't know. It's something.
Either way, he's strapped up. He's ready to go.
Yeah, but you can't. There is a crossover, a stamp rally
that you were required to complete to move on to the next section.
Mandatory, not a side mission, a mandatory part of the game. Rescuing the shuttle worker. Who cares? Side mission. Getting all the penguin stamps. That's people are going to need to do that.
Yes.
Your reward for saving that guy from the shuttle is a napalm launcher, which you can just buy a little bit later in the game anyway. So.
It's pretty baller. Let him die. Had that on him though. Yeah, like, he just had that
in his pocket. Yeah. And I there's a bit of dialogue, so I think you're only missing one of the stamps or whatever. And Janine calls you.
Taco Pen.
It's what are you doing?
Looking for Taco Pen.
Yeah. So I didn't remember which one, but obviously you guys did. But that cracked me up. And the dialogue is amazing. Like, again, don't go in expecting like a horror game or like
that like codec conversation, because when he says it just cuts back to like the codec screen and Janine's just going, like no expression. He looks dead angry.
And I think she likes me.
I guess she doesn't understand jokes.
You guys know this by heart. That's amazing. That's
amazing. Only because I replayed that section last night, so
okay.
A little bit more fresh in my memory.
And you could just assume I'm always replaying this game. It's fair to say.
So for you guys, tell me about when you first played this game and how you felt about it at the time. So maybe let's start with you, Dom.
Yeah, so I this was one of the first Dreamcast games I got. That period of my life's a little bit hazy because so much good stuff was happening. Like I had a really great.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I was 10, so not so many drugs. Maybe a little bit of fizzy pop with a
little bit of Hassy. Yeah,
too
much Hassy.
But I remember getting a Dreamcast for that Christmas, and my mum and dad got me some really like a load of cool games. Like I got, I think they got me Sonic Adventure and Toy Commander on Christmas. But I remember around that time, I don't know if these were gifts from other relatives or I don't remember. I just got a load of good stuff at that time. But in that mix also was Soul Calibur and Blue Stinger. Everything I've listed there, still some of my favorite games to this day. And we played a heck of a lot of Blue Stinger during that weird period between Christmas and going back to school or work where no one really knows what's going on. During that like week or so, we just played a lot of Blue Stinger, me and my dad together, and I just remember thinking, like at the time, I'd played Resident Evil. Shouldn't have. I was only 10, but good game. And I remember thinking it's not like that. I didn't really have any reference point for what it was like. It wasn't like the other stuff I liked, Siphon Filter or Metal Gear Solid. It was just entirely its own beast. But it was very. I loved all the neon. I loved all the bombastic music. I loved the voice acting didn't seem goofy to me then because for all I knew that maybe that is how people talk to each other, but they were still charming and funny. I don't know, everything about it just really resonated with me, and I love going to all the different areas, the Hello Market obviously, but then later on going to the power plant, going to the apartments. I remember for some reason thinking driving the Jeep was really cool, even though you don't drive it, you just literally get a car key, plays like a 5-second cutscene of a Jeep starting, but I was like, whoa, that's badass. I've driven all the way from there to the, I don't know why, but everything about the game just seemed like, I remember being in school and daydreaming about getting home to play Blue Stinger. Like when I went back to school, that's where I was at with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And by the way, side note, quick Sonic Adventure connection as well. The voice actors.
Oh yeah,
right.
All of
them. Yeah, Ryan Drummond.
Ryan Drummond is
Dean
Elliot.
Bristow.
Yeah,
Dean
it's dogs.
Eggman.
Yeah.
And Lani Manella.
Yeah,
Rouge
and Rouge the Bat is Janine.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, so all of them. And also, John St. John, Duke Nukem, or also Big the Cat, does the ancillary characters. He's like the shuttle worker and stuff.
Yes. Nice. So there are a lot of like Sonic Adventure connections here in terms of voice acting. It's kind of goofy, yes, it is. But I kind of like the dialogue, to be honest. And I
wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I never want them to remake this game because I think they would destroy it. But even if it was in the best team in the world, somehow the Nishigaki estate had given it complete blessing and said, yep, go ahead and do it, I wouldn't want them to re-record the voice acting. Please leave it how it is. It's perfect.
Yeah. I can see that. I don't see it happening, but yes.
No, absolutely not.
Does,
I mean, I'd like to see the game preserved in some way for people that don't have Dreamcast. Port it to something for people. That'd be great, but just leave it exactly how it is.
Yeah. Just port it to PC or whatever.
Yeah,
put it on Steam.
GOG,
yeah, exactly. They're doing
that whole Dreamless thing at the minute. I voted for this game and that, so go ahead, guys, do your bit. Okay. Go and vote. Go and vote for it.
Yeah. Brian, what about you? When did you first play Blue Stinger?
Play it probably around launch, because or 99.99 when the Dreamcast came out stateside. Sonic Adventure was the only game that I actually owned, but I rented a ton of stuff, and so this is a game. So Blue Stinger is a game that I had actually followed pretty early on, when it was shown off in magazines around its reveal in Japan, which it was also delayed. It was supposed to come out around that launch, and I don't think it came out until like the following spring of 99.
Like March, I think, 99.
Yeah, March-ish. But in the meantime, all of the bowl shots in the Electronic Gaming Monthly and Next Generation just made it look super enticing. I love so I was also not huge into Resident Evil, although I was also looking forward to Code Veronica, but I was very intrigued by a game that promised to be as vibrant and just like, I don't know, just as colorful as Blue Stinger was, with especially with all of the napalm launchers and just the various monsters, and I just felt it was such a cool looking juxtaposition of those aesthetics that I was just really looking forward to it from the get-go. And then so I played it pretty early on after it came out, and I was I mean I enjoyed it. I think I was also working out of a lot of cynicism at the time because the critical reception of the game was not the best. I think EGM gave it like 4.5s, and then I think it got like 6s from official Dreamcast magazine, at least the US one, and as well as some of the other outlets. Edge, I think, gave it a 5 or a 6. But anyway, so initially I had kind of tempered my expectations upon reading some of those, but as I rented the game and played through it more and more, it was kind of clear to me that no, this actually was my type of game. And I feel like that happens a lot with certain games that I look forward to, and then they just kind of get shit on or what. Well, sorry, if you have to put the Sonic sound effect in there. But they, and then you have to be like, well, it still might be for me, and a lot of times there is some hook in there that is more fundamental to my interests as a game player, that like, oh yeah, no, despite all of the things it does wrong or whatever it's dinged for critically, it's like, no, that hook is strong enough personally, that I don't give a crap about any of that other stuff. So that's really it. I liked it pretty much through my first playthrough. I don't know if it was my favorite game at the time. I mean, as you were saying, Dom, I mean, it was, you had Soul Calibur. I was still playing through Sonic Adventure. There's just a lot of great games at the time. So
the launch, still the strongest console launch in history, I think. Like, I know obviously as history and various other consoles superseded and all that kind of stuff, but like, I had a PS2 at launch. I've got no hate towards the PS2. It's a great console. The launch games for the PS2 weren't a patch on the launch games for the Dreamcast. That was just an embarrassment of riches that we had going on at that time.
Yeah. I was actually trying to find. I can't access Metacritic for some reason right now. I don't even know if Blue Stinger is on there. But should be. But IGN actually gave it an 8.4.
I remember this.
IGN did,
IGN getting it right for once in the damn life.
They said it's great.
They were right. It was.
They were happy with the silly plot twists, which actually contribute to the crappy special effects laden summer blockbuster feel of the game.
See, they got what Nishigaki was going for.
I
don't think Nishigaki ever sat the team down and was like, we're going to do a really serious, heartfelt horror game that's going to really get to the core of the human condition. He was like, we're going to make some big, crazy blockbuster. Everything's going to be silly and over the top. That's...
exactly. I found an interview with him. He said he wanted to create something that felt like a Hollywood action movie rather than a traditional Japanese survival horror game. He was inspired by Steven Spielberg films, wanted the game to feel like a blockbuster adventure with cinematic pacing and larger-than-life characters. Instead of like the dark, like eerie environments in Resident Evil, he wanted bright, colorful environments and a sense of spectacle. Definitely. Which is also what I another criticism I heard about this game. It's like, I went in expecting a Resident Evil-like experience, and as soon as I turned on the game, like, the brightness of it all just put me off. Okay, if you're expecting something like that, obviously.
But I mean, that also like requires you to have not seen any of the screenshots.
Any screenshot,
anything that the
because there's not like one dark area in the game. Other than the power plant for that 1 minute before you turn the lights on.
Even then, so it's got. There's no light, isn't there? I mean, it's like the emergency power or something. Yeah. But
I think it's like one of the brightest games on the Dreamcast, and that's going some. The only thing I think aesthetically comparable is probably Phantasy Star Online.
Okay.
For like just the sheer amount of like neon and brightness everywhere.
The futuristic feel, for sure. Yeah. So as I said before, my first experience with this game was like a couple of months ago. So, and I like it very much. I also enjoy the whole. We already talked about this, but like you can get immersed in that world, right? Like it feels like it's a lived-in world. It kind of reminds me of a more simplistic Shenmue in that way, right?
Yeah.
Which surprised me because I never really hear people talking about that, apart from like sickos like you guys, like Blue Stinger sickos.
Have to be.
But I think people miss out on that. Like the whole, even like the whole Hassy posters everywhere, like the different, and they went all in on that. Like there's a lot of different like ads and like graphics they add to different sides of the island. This is an island with different sections, and there's always some sort of like a Kimra advert or some sort of like Hassy poster or whatever, and they didn't really need to go so hard on that. I feel like, but it really is cool, and like the whole vending machine system is interesting, right? Vending machine for weapons, for for ammo, for what's the thing, the life hook, right?
Oh
if you
yeah.
fall, life hook. You can. There's I found a specific.
Pharmaceuticals
Yes.
that you need for that one mission.
Yeah. So there's specific vending machines for specific items, and obviously you have like the food and drinks machine.
And I think that like buying like a Gatling gun from a vending machine is like very RoboCop. Like it's very much got that like dystopian sort of black comedy to it, I think.
Okay.
I mean the whole. Yeah. I mean that is the setting. That is the premise.
I see
right?
that.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, Kimra, this giant biotech company, pretty much takes over the island after the 2000 incident. What was that, earthquake or whatever it was, for research, right? But it becomes a company town, and it is effectively holding all of its employees to this secret shrouded operation, where they. But also what I love about that is you can kind of see how they live in this space, how they inhabit it, where they include bathrooms, right? They have a little arcade. There's a movie theater. There's apartments. There's all of this infrastructure kind of exists, and they were very very attuned to that kind of detail of the fishing tackle shop, right? It's like in a bank, like they just nothing is too mundane or specific. Rat's Bar obviously is a classic locale, but it just comes together in a way that feels like, oh yeah, you sold me on this fiction that I can connect this with the communities and places that I go on a daily basis. That I think that's what Nishigaki was going for, was like sort of it's a little surreal. It's that heavy-handed corporate dystopia near future vibe is certainly there, but to draw you into it, we're gonna put in a level of detail that connects you with this space, that you can identify with those things. And I think that's just something at that time was very rare in games. And you're right, Shenmue kind of took that whole nother level, but there just weren't a lot of games of this nature that that really had that same attention to detail towards a goal of immersing you into that space in quite the same way.
This might seem like a weird segue, but these games are always paired in my head for some reason. Mega Man Legends, I always think of as almost like a kiddie version of Blue Stinger. The reason I bring it up, Brian, is because you were talking about like that immersive sense of place. And I think about Mega Man Legends, and like the actual town of Catalox is very immersive and like very interconnected. But like the little tunnels that you go in are very anonymous feeling. You don't get anything out of those. Like they're the worst part of the game. And for Blue Stinger, it's not like that. Anywhere you go, a dungeon, if you like, any mission type area, it still feels like part of the world. It still feels like a functional, like, oh yeah, this is where they do this thing and that thing. This is
where they make them go to work between 9 and 5 and do research on all of this, whatever experiments that they probably did. That
all these cool monsters that Robert Short designed. Have we talked about the cool Hollywood names attached to this yet?
It's something that I liked about it. It's like it's near future, right? But maybe back then, whenever you thought of like 2018, 2020, 2025, it was all like, oh, this is going to be so different. We're going to like have flying cars and whatever. There's an element of fantasy, like sci-fi thing to this. It's in the future. There are things that we don't have in 98 or 99 yet, but it's not that far-fetched if you think about it. It's like grounded in realism in a way, right? It's like
we have a lot more neon and I can buy a Gatling gun from a vending machine, but otherwise basically
other than that, yeah, it's pretty much spot on, right? Yeah. Yeah, so definitely something that I enjoyed about this, like the way that Nishigaki looked at what the future will be in this reality that he concocted in his head. Yeah. So I think this is a good time to take a commercial break and thank our sponsors, which is not something we do every week, but I thought this is a special episode, like I said. And so for that, I'm gonna let's we need the appropriate sense of like respect for our sponsors. So let's
assuming Kimura gave you a choice in this matter, yeah.
So let's start up with our first sponsor. This episode is sponsored by Hassy. Need a pick-me-up? Hassy Short. Has a monster attacked you and left you for dead? Hassy Long. The energy drink of winners. Hassy. Recover. That's our first sponsor right there. Second up, we have this episode being sponsored by Kimura Corp. Let's work hard for a company. Let's work hard for a company, whatever it is. Kimura needs our power. Kimura, we're not involved in anything shitty at all. No. And finally, we are also sponsored by Hello Market. Yes, from fresh produce to toys and even ammo, you'll find it all at Hello Market. And don't miss out on our special Christmas stamp rally only at our Dinosaur Island location. Find all the pens and win an amazing prize. Hello Market is not responsible for any injuries you may incur while collecting stamps or after using your prize. Yeah. Thank you to our sponsors. Yes. Thank you very much.
Very kind of all of them to sponsor this, really.
Yeah. Is Hello Market a chain?
In my head, it is, yes.
Oh, nice.
It's like Don Quixote in Japan. Like it's the big superstore, I guess. Yeah. For like, the residents of Dinosaur Island.
Like tomato in Shenmue. Yeah, it's all around the world. Yeah.
Yeah, the tomato market.
I guess if you have large like department stores, Target or Walmart.
Yeah. There you go. I like the name Hello Market. It's a great name. Yeah. I scrapped what was the Omega Club? That was also on the cards.
It's a little risque,
but maybe too much. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll just advertise in the classified print ads or
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So favorite aspect about this game, guys? Obviously the narrative, but apart from that,
obviously,
I'm gonna give a shout out to the monster design. I think my actual favorite answer is the characters and the voice acting, but I feel like we'd all just say that. So if I take that aside, the monster design's really good. I mentioned Robert Short, the guy that designed E.T. Did these monster designs, and there's a really cool photo I've posted on Blue Sky somewhere of Shinya Nishigaki looking so happy, and he's got these 3 models. I think it's the caterpillar one, the bull one, and something else with him, and he's so happy to be showing these off. And I would give a princely sum for any of those models, but I think that they're also unique and different to what other games were doing around this time. even your basic zombie, because they're all like dinocyte mutants, so they've all got like dino DNA. Even just your basic zombie has something a little bit unusual with it, with the extra arms and the weird like missing jaw and stuff. I don't know. They've all got a cool little extra bit of detail to them. Anyone want to speak to the favorite monsters in this game?
I don't think you can beat a crab, like a monster crab with
Crab coming out of
a
its teeth.
sheep.
Giant
Yeah,
enemy
I
crab.
don't really. That's my pick.
It's high up there. I actually like the bull a lot outside the movie.
The bull's
Okay.
really
Yeah.
cool.
Or you
Yeah.
could also fight it earlier in the cold storage if you set the temperature.
Yeah, if you mess
with that
one
yes.
to thaw out the ice block that it's encased in. But
Mhm.
that actually reminds me. I think I've stumbled upon it. I'm trying to look for it here. There was apparently somebody had emailed Robert Short about just asking for some more information, and he had sent them some concept art
Ooh.
of some of the monsters that did appear in the game, but a couple that didn't. And I think if they had
This is
included
news to me.
this one, it might have been my favorite. But I have to bring it. I first find the link again, so we can come back to this. But I can describe it as like kind of a several arm / clawed kraken monster that
Ooh.
lived underwater, and it
Oh, that would
swim
have been
around,
cool to have
but
some
it would
underwater
have
monsters.
yeah, but it had its head was like the top of its head looked like just a regular ass dolphin. And it would swim in the water just harmless as can be. Oh, it's a cute dolphin. And then when it gets close enough, then the whole monster unveils itself as
that's really cool.
Yeah. So okay, here
What was the dolphin, right? So I
put it-
actually found it. I found it. I can try to share it with everyone here.
I don't know if there's a JPEG.
I'll try to also post a link in the show notes for people wanting to see this. But I think it's this one, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
that would have been terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like they're not even a kraken. It's like I don't know. They all have their own like.
I think he says the concept was that the main head would break the surface of the water and appear like a regular dolphin until it was ready to attack. Yeah,
that would have been
that's
that actually would have knocked it up into a horror game for me.
Yeah,
that's very
yeah.
It could be in like Elden Ring or something, you know.
Because if you look at like if you don't look at the teeth, if you only see like the top head, top half of the head,
on the top half,
it's like very cute.
It could just close its mouth
Echo.
and it would probably look normal. Yeah. And then you see all the Hydra heads just like coming after it. Also,
they could have used Sega could have used that Echo the Dolphin technology as well, so it would never be able to swim straight. It wouldn't be able to get to you. It couldn't get off the first stage, and that would be quite easy to beat.
This is Sluggo.
Yep.
That is Gravelord Nito.
Yeah, but the problem was the transparency. So you can see inside.
They had
so for people listening,
slime monsters in the game.
Yeah, but you can see like the skulls of all the people that Sluggo killed and eaten. So
that's badass. I'd wish some of these. Okay, I'm gonna revise my caveat. If Night Dive want to do a remaster of this game and do like what they did with Turok, where they put some of the concept art and stuff back into the game, Night Dive, you're allowed to do that because these were official monster designs. So Night Dive, when you do that remaster,
just don't touch
these guys back in. Don't touch the voice actor. Don't touch anything about the game, but get Sluggo back in there and get that horrible dolphin thing back in there. I want to see how that would have been implemented.
Yeah,
they're great designs. Every one on this game is a banger. No misses for me on these monsters.
Yeah,
and I can't always say that with horror games.
Just one more. This is Mac, apparently.
It's something kind of like
Mutated Island Crewman. The original sketch for the Mutated Island Crewman was called Mac.
They just made him more humanoid.
Yeah.
A bit more like bulky, because some of the more mutated humanoids do kind of have that hunched over posture, don't they? But like they're a little bigger and they don't have as many arms and crab claws or whatever that is he's got coming out of the front of him. This is cool though. This would have fit right in with, it's not too dissimilar to.
There's a tattoo, right?
How they ended up looking. Oh yeah, it's a Grim Reaper.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah. So cool shot. Then thank you for sharing this, Brian. Also,
yeah,
I'll
thanks, Brian. I've never seen these before either.
There's also a picture of the crab without the Jeep, and it doesn't hit as hard.
Really oh yeah, that's true.
That's like a little Black Widow.
That's true.
On the back
yeah,
of it,
yeah, definitely prefer the in-game version.
There
there we go.
I want to just find the. Oh yeah, that's the crab. I was in the other tab trying to find this picture of Nishigaki. Yeah, that crab doesn't hit anyone near as hard. You need that Jeep on his back.
But it also had backup eyes on its feet in case its head was damaged. It says so, like Robert Short said. So yeah, but the Jeep. We need the Jeep, definitely.
I've found this picture as well. I don't know. Should I share my screen or should I send it to you?
Maybe. I'll try to share it here with the link.
How do I put a link in the?
Wasn't it this? No, this is the one that.
Oh, I just sent
that. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. It's the same one. You can use the chat box here.
Where is
and
the
we can,
chat? You're like such an old person. I can see mute, share screen, hang up.
Yeah.
The chat's on the side.
The
chat's on the side. I don't know if this.
There we go. I'll try.
That's me
share
searching for my own post to find it. Let me.
I was trying to find that. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This will work better. I've got a direct link to it. There you go. There it is. Anyway, yeah.
Yes.
So that's Nishigaki there with 3 of the monsters. So there's the like the thing that Mac ended up being, the like mutated humanoid. There's the like
the transparent one as well.
Guy that I like, and yeah, I think that transparent one is maybe the slime thing that infects Elegant in the end. I think that's. Well, then now that I've seen Sluggo, maybe that is Sluggo because there are some skulls in him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably Sluggo. He's really happy.
Yeah, well, I didn't know anything about Sluggo until today. You see, so
there we go. So we
every
learned something
time on
new
the
today.
SEGA Lounge is an education.
SEGA education, my friend. Don't forget about it. Yeah, never forget. Yeah. So Brian, favorite part about the game?
Good question. I think I like the disjointed, unique vibe that comes from all of the ideas that they just mash together in a way that makes it so unlike anything I've ever played or seen and it's one of the things that keeps drawing me back to it is just this clash. It's just like an aggressive clash of themes and of aesthetics and of, I guess, not genre conventions, but like, I don't know, defiance of expectations, as we were saying earlier. I think it's probably a bit of a it's not a very good comparison to lump it in with like a methodical survival horror game, right? And at a fundamental level, it isn't that, because it eschews all matter of nuance. It eschews all scarcity. Like, it's just a game that is about full abundance, about a full lack of nuance, and that is just bold and vibrant and in your face about everything it tries to do, no matter how disjointed those things feel, as a cacophony together. So I just kind of like it as a cacophonous beat 'em up B movie, sci-fi light vibe that just like is just not something I've ever seen in anything else, in any other medium, but it exists here, and I am so glad that Nishigaki and his team, his very talented team at Climax Graphics, just leaned into the vision that they had pushed for, and it also takes just a lack of corporate like stinginess and a lack of I don't know, focus testing and a lack of to be like a lack of risk adversity. Just to
Different
see
times.
some iteration of this come off the ground. And
That's
yeah,
true.
Activision did require some concessions as far as the presentation and camera. There's also a few other I guess not nudity, but just a few other like some censorship that they did. And so, but like through all of that, it like didn't really lose its charm or its
not at all.
Its identity,
haptic,
right?
That just chaos. It's just a pure chaotic vibe that I love most. And no matter what version you play, I think it just comes through full force. And also it gets me in the Christmas spirit or around the holidays. It's just that vibrant.
Yeah. Whenever I play this, I want to play Pen Triathlon. Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, my favorite part about the game, I mentioned it before. It's like the way the world building, right? That because it surprised me. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't really know what to expect from this game, other than the things that you guys mentioned, for example, on that episode of the Dream Pod. But I thought I would like have some mild scares at some point, which I sometimes did, because the monsters would like I went back to an area I was previously on,
and they respawned.
They respawned like on me, almost like exactly where I was. So like I
imagine
could
the
move
dolphin doing that.
Imagine. Yeah, but the world building itself, I wasn't expecting so much detail. The level of detail was amazing to me, impressive, especially when I got to the Hello Market part, and then like Rhett's Place and the fisherman, the fish tackle shop, whatever, the barber shop, the bank, all the apartments. So all of that level of detail I wasn't expecting to find here. It's campy, but it's fun. That's I think that's what matters the most, right? It's a fun game, even if there's
2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I could actually keep going a little bit. It's campy, but it's fun. Which I think it's what matters the most. It reminds me of a simpler time when we didn't really care so much about like reviews, and at least I didn't back in the day. If I found something that I thought looked interesting, I would probably give it a go, no matter what reviewers said, no matter what the general consensus about the game was. And this reminds me of that, like of specific games that I picked up because for some reason, maybe the box art or some sort of like screenshot I saw somewhere, or just like didn't really have anything else to play, and then I fall in love with that game because it's my thing, my jam, for some reason. Not that I have like a specific thing about the game that I really love, but I can appreciate that. So that reminds me of those types of games, and there are several throughout my life as a gamer. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I locked my wife out of the house by accident. She'd been out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm recording. Just let yourself in." And she's like, "Well, you've got the key." So I was like, yeah, okay." So didn't want to leave her out in the garden.
It's cool. So we're running low on time. So I have one more thing just to ask you guys. Curiosity here. So back in the day, you played this game when you were younger. Did you? So there are some hints here in the game, like on how to proceed, that are not exactly obvious, right? And there were things that I looked at like specific codes you need to get. Like there's a specific one in the arcade. The girl says, "I have a present for you. It's Christmas Eve." Okay. and she's actually giving you the code for the door, right?
Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve. So, but it's not immediately obvious, right? When you're playing it. Did you guys struggle with that back in the day?
I don't remember.
Do you remember
I
that?
had that Brady Games guide, so I definitely didn't.
Well, and that's an important piece of context here. I mean, there's probably two reasons. Is that A, that's the kind of puzzle that was a little more common in adventure games back then, and that is probably an example of some of the adventure influence bleeding into Blue Stinger. But also,
and
so our brains.
Brian, you would put it in as she means it 12/24. Whereas to me, Christmas Eve is 24/12.
24/12. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But that's what you were expecting from those types of games back in the day. That's true.
Some of the puzzles were a little more abstract, and I think we were just used to that. But also, Dom, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Brady games, like I can't underscore how integral to game sales that they were always selling you the guide. If you went to Funkoland or any of the, at least stateside, any of those, they would have every strategy guide that for games big enough to get one, that they would try to upsell you on as soon as you brought that game to the counter or asked to buy it. So that was just so part and parcel with that was part of the expectation, is that most people who buy the game are also going to at least have the guide. They're at least going to attempt to upsell them on the guide. So
I don't think I'd have worked out the climbing on the pipes thing without a guide, because there's nothing to imply that you can just suddenly climb pipes now.
Okay. For me, it was the freezer section.
Yeah.
Or you don't forget to take the key. You forget to put the key back in and take it back out, whichever one it is, and it melts instead of being.
Yeah, it's actually the number. You can input a number from like 5,000 to
8,000,
9 or 8,000, whatever. And I didn't even know what number to input, and you don't really need to know. You just need to choose one, like in between, like in the middle, so you don't melt everything and it doesn't freeze. So the first time I think I died because everything was like on fire. And the monsters were like non-frozen, which was a problem. The area that you go next was underwater, and I try to swim through that, like while running away, like swimming away from like the fish, the monster fish, and also as they hit you or bite you or whatever, you start to swim slower. So that's a struggle.
Yeah, they can stun lock you.
Yeah. I think there's a third factor in there for design sensibilities, and that was that I think games, just because there weren't as many of them at the time, they assumed you had more time to experiment and to poke and prod at some of those possibilities that they were giving you. And so it's like, I think with the climbing on the up the wall as monster vomit Elliot, I think that I just did on accident. I like walked toward the wall.
You'd get there eventually, I guess.
Yeah,
there's a limited amount of stuff you can do, but
and the freezer, I do remember like going through, having it too hot and it melts the ice, and so it's like, okay, it's a swimming area, but if you don't put it up quite as much, I think usually nowadays I just go 5,555 or 5.
I go straight 5,000.
Yeah, I think I did like 5,500 or something like that.
So
there's probably some Dunner, Krugen, whatever that personality testers thing for whatever number you put in the freezer, some inanely boring thing. It might say something about me as a person.
Yeah, but I had to look up a couple of things eventually online, which is easier now, right? But back in the day, I was just curious. But that's a very good point, Brian. I remember I was trained to like try, and I constantly got stuck on things, and like I was trained to try everything. Go it looks like a wall, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's the graphics. So just let's go press A, press A, press A. And I was like moving next to the wall, close to the wall, and like pressing A until something happens, and something usually did happen. Like it was a door, but I couldn't really see it because of the graphics that were amazing. But or like a set of stairs or whatever, like a ladder. Yeah, but that's something that I find interesting, and obviously these days people don't have the time or patience to like do this experimentation and try to solve things on their own. So thanks, internet. Yeah. We're about to wrap things up here. We're gonna keep this short this week. So I wanted to ask you one final question, which is, we already talked about this a little bit, right? Dom, you're expecting maybe a remake if they don't touch the voice acting. So would you like to see this remade, like in all seriousness now? Would you like to see this remade, or would you like to like someone to pick this up, like this universe, Blue Stinger Illbleed universe, and do something new with it, like more attuned to the today's standards, obviously, but
4K no los dos.
Yeah. Brian's always a little bit more ambitious on these questions than me. I think Brian has a lot of faith in modern game design more than I do. Maybe it's not. There's great devs out there, but I think
he's more positive. Like more.
I'm a positive guy. I think there's the problem now is there's too much shareholders and corporate oversight and stuff. So you could get some, and there's some amazing devs out there today. So you could get some like incredible devs who would absolutely be up to the task, but would it just get the life choked out of it by decisions by committee of boring corporate types going, we're not putting out if it has this thing or that thing or that thing. So it'd have to be either like such a low budget, small indie type thing that people had full control over it, or just port the original game. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
That would be. But
that would probably help the low budget thing.
In the right hands and the right circumstances, I would trust somebody like Kira LLC who did Lunacid, or like Dread XP who did Dread Delusion, or one of those kind of modern lo-fi horror devs. I would trust one of those people to do a good job in this universe.
Okay. Brian, you said "Por qué no los dos"?
Yeah, I mean, I would love, by default, I always want games like this to be available for people of all generations to play on as many devices as possible. I think piracy is probably the best bet for that at the moment, or original Dreamcast. And also, it is amazing that this game is still exclusive to the Dreamcast. Maybe it's not that amazing, but it is interesting to me when so many others, even more obscure games from that era, are not. But
that's true.
I do think that there is. I mean, yeah, Dom's right. Like, whoever takes this on would have to be of the assumption that it is an extremely niche project, that the return on investment is just, it might be there if you push it with the right audiences that are, and there may be a large enough that may be sustainable. There may be enough of a audience of people who are looking for a janky game from 1999 that would be into that, and certainly Night Dive and some of those studios have kind of really relished in finding those audiences, but by and large, I don't know. I just don't know if this is a game. I do want it to exist and I want more people to play it, but I don't think a remake is probably the right way to go. And I don't even know if they have the original source code that they could do and easily do a port. So, like, I would be surprised if that exists. It seems like
it would maybe have to be running through an emulator, like the way that they do those Saturn tribute things, and it's actually just an emulator running in the background, and maybe they'd have to do that.
I think a remake is excessive, to be honest. I think just put it on PC or whatever. Like, doesn't really. We talked GOG before. We mentioned that. I think that's a good bet for this. But they usually do some tweaks here and there. I think they're also doing that as well.
Yeah, they do quality of life stuff. So that would be. I was talking to Yog Tatal on Blue Sky. He was friends with Nishigaki in real life.
Yes.
He's in Illbleed. You can play as Yog in Illbleed. And we were talking about Blue Stinger. He was saying he would like to see a port or a remaster. He kind of obliquely hinted that potentially he might look to do that with his own company, but he was. I'm not breaking any news there. He certainly didn't say he was going to do it, but he definitely was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool." So
I think we had a chat like that a couple of years ago as well.
Same.
Chat to see if we could get it from the estate, get the rights from the estate. But if there was somebody I absolutely trust to do this game justice, it is Jurgen Rapid. I think they understand the assignment, and they are fantastic developers. I mean, I still love C Smash VRS. And,
did an amazing job on that.
Yeah. No, and honestly, he would definitely want to honor the legacy of his friend. So you could trust him to do the best he could.
I think that studio is also one that I would trust to take it further if they wanted to do some sort of a remake that did push it in another direction. I mean, I do think that they would understand the core of what this game is and what its charm is, that I don't expect that would be lost. If it turns out,
that's the one and only scenario where I would think, we can get a remake.
I personally think we would be better off with something new, that would expand the universe of like both Blue Stinger and Illbleed.
Might exist in the same.
So again, I would definitely trust Jorg to actually handle that as well. He understands it. He's been in the game. He's a character. So he understands like the campiness of it all as well, and he appreciates it. So he would probably try to do something in that vein, but with like attuned to a more modern sensibility in a way, like some quality of life improvements, and something that would I'm thinking of what The Last Worker, right? The game he worked on, like that sort of like humor and stuff. He would probably be able to put it into whatever Blue Stingle Bleed sequel he wants to work on.
That like dystopian kind of corporate overreach vibe to it as well, massively. So I think we could definitely tap into that
for sure. But I definitely would want something new, and I think like something not a big budget project or like a AAA game. This wouldn't be the correct way to go for this. It wouldn't sell a lot. So
give me 1A. Give me 1A, Matt.
Yeah, like an indie project. I wouldn't even mind like obviously like something 3D is the way to go if you want to like keep the spirit of the originals, but maybe something different, like I don't know, some sort of like
it would work as a demake, as a 2D brawler,
2.5D or whatever.
You know what? Bring the Dark Savior engine back, because Nishigaki worked on that one as well, and you can have like an isometric Sega style brawler.
There we go. Yeah.
And to be fair, I think most of the team, I think there were 18 people at Climax Graphics on development of Blue Stinger. I mean, most of those people, or at least the core of them, did come from that Dark team Savior at Climax anyway that worked on Dark Savior.
And probably that would attract a bigger audience, since people like that like sort of like retro feel for games these days more.
I don't know how many Dark Savior heads there are out there, but definitely isometric kind of retro graphics.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, who knows? Maybe a couple of years from now, we're doing another special episode sponsored by
Sponsored by you because he
by
brought it back.
Hassy.
Oh, it was sponsored by
yes.
or in a darker timeline where it's sponsored by Forever Entertainment and we are playing that game.
Don't do that.
Please no.
Please no. Please no.
Sorry.
With all due respect, no.
After they do the Panzer Dragoon Saga remake that we can look forward to from Forever Entertainment.
Right. So go play Blue Stinger. That's the message here today. Do as I did. Follow my lead and go play Blue Stinger. You'll enjoy it for sure. Yeah. With an open mind. Dude, I think you'll enjoy it. I had a lot of fun. So yeah. I need to replay it and try to unlock. I think it's got retro achievements probably. So I'll try to replay it again, like try to unlock achievements for that, which is something that
Try to unlock that Dog's Bower swimsuit.
Yes. No, I need to play the Japanese version now. Now that you opened my eyes to the reality of like naked Bauer.
Even well, as a second to that, as a reason to play the Japanese version, I think it's worth playing both, just because they do feel like fundamentally different games in a way, or at least they feel like they're playing with the genre from two different angles. Where the Western release, I think rightly did, like as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, like I think it knew, or Activision did know, that it was a action game above all else, and I think that does lean into that in a way that that fits technically, even though it wasn't the best implemented. But I think seeing the original camera as intended, the camera work as intended by the team, I think really does give you a better sense of how they saw the environments, what they thought was most interesting about the locales, what they wanted you to focus on, how they wanted to obscure some of the enemy placement. Like there are actual like situations where you'll get where a monster will sneak up on you because you literally have no way of seeing them, but you can hear them, and so there's like a little bit of tension there sometimes. And even though it doesn't really, I still wouldn't classify that as a horror game, just because you can just use your stun prod and you can kill them in a haze of vibrant sparks.
I love that stun rod.
Yeah,
you can get a shock though. When you go to the Hello Market, or you can get a shock when you go to the Hello Market. You get to that door and it says, "Are you over 21?" And you're like, "Why I got to be over 21 to go in a music shop?" And then you confirm that you are over 21, and in the Japanese version, it's not a music shop.
Okay.
Selling some literature.
Yes. So obviously, it's like it's a library. Yes,
it's not graphic at all. Yeah, but it's a funny touch.
A library of sorts. Sure.
Of sorts. Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, to replay the game from a different perspective, like the feel obviously is different because of the camera.
And I do think the Japanese version with the camera work kind of does a lot to make the settings feel like their own character in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas that, is just not directed the same way. And although in the Western version, what is cool is you do have the free look, like you can look first person.
Yes.
I wish they had that in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, thank you for joining me for this episode of the SEGA Lounge dedicated to Blue Stinger. Finally. And
Thanks for having us.
And it's your time to tell people where they can find you and what you're working on. So let's start with you, Dom.
You can't really find me anywhere anymore because I've basically left the internet, but I am still on YouTube.
That's a big part of the internet, though.
YouTube, I'm still on YouTube. So Dreamcast Enjoyer, look me up. I am currently working on a series of virtual tour videos, doing this kind of thing where we're looking through games. I'm doing as much as I can to kind of hack the UI out of them and get clean footage. Blue Stinger will be the Christmas episode, so if you want to see me gushing about the locales and Blue Stinger and just a lot of long, slow panning shots of low poly neon environments, if that sounds good to you, have I got a channel for you?
Excellent. That's great. Brian.
Yeah, I got a couple of things. I mean, I have my own just I guess a travel log or video game blog thing, but that's called the Virtua Planet or the virtuaplanet.com. Most of my Dreamcast focused stuff would be as a contribution to the Dreamcast Junkyard, and so we have several podcasts and blog posts over decades of talking through all of the history and goings on of Sega's swan songs. So definitely check those out if you haven't already. We do have a number of Blue Stinger specific items as part of that. I wrote a couple of articles over the years about Blue Stinger, including a Christmas one back in, I don't know, 2021, 2022, something like that. But so that one's kind of fun. Maybe we'll repost it around the holidays. We did the Blue Stinger episode last year, and Dom was. Thank you very much for joining again. So that'll be the gift that keeps on giving, because it's just one we can just
Every
have
year.
around the holidays, promote it every year.
If you guys ever need to take time off around the holidays as well, you could just repost that one and be like, hey, it's one we had in the pipe. Evergreen. Evergreen.
Exactly. I also just change the episode number and we're all good.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
Instead of you could just say Christmas and then a robotic voice, 2025.
And then I also wrote it was a Blue Stinger piece about it's kind of a personal retrospective for what's it called? I'll bring it up here. Pixels and Polygons. They're a retro game zine by Darren Hoopke. He does a series of books and magazines, and the zines are just small little books dedicated to individual games, and he did a Blue Stinger issue sometime this last year. I'm pretty sure it'll show up in the compendium as well. But yeah, that'll be that's also some more Blue Stinger stuff if y'all want it.
Never enough. Never enough. Yeah. Excellent. That's great. So I'll try to find that as well and leave a link in the show notes for people as well to check it out.
Yeah. And then otherwise I'm on Blue Sky as well, Jet Brian Radio, but I don't check it or post that often, but I'm on there from time to time.
That's what matters. Yeah, same here. So don't worry. We're old and busy. Speaking of old, yeah, I'm always here. The SEGA Lounge, theSegaLounge.com for all our shows. Do check us out on YouTube, by the way, if you're listening to the audio version. This week, again, worth it for the beautiful faces of my illustrious guests, and also all the things that we showed as well, including the concept art, which I'll link in the show notes. Other than that, you also have my Alex Kidd shirt. So, which has nothing to do with Blue Stinger, but why not? We'll be back next week with more SEGA Lounge, with more Sega content. Stay tuned for that. I'm not sure when this will air, so I'm not sure what's going to happen next week, but we've got a couple of interesting shows coming up dedicated to different types of games that we usually don't cover, like Blue Stinger. We never talked about this in detail, and we're going to do at least another one very, very soon about another game that we never really covered on the show, so do check it out eventually. TheSegaLounge.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for listening or watching. We'll be back next time. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
Adios.
Bye.
The SEGA Lounge, hosted by me, KC, a Mixout Productions podcast and part of Radio Sega's network of live shows and podcasts. Theme song and incidental music by OSC. Got any suggestions? Drop me an email to podcast@thesegalounge.com. Find us at thesegalounge.com on Blue Sky. Check out our YouTube channel for our video content and follow us on Twitch to join our Let's Play sessions and live episodes. You can find previous episodes of the show by going to thesegalounge.com on the TerraPlayer app and wherever you listen to podcasts.